Mr. Melvin Yong, if we can take our two cards together.
Thank you, Chairman. Technological advances will allow us to reinvent and reimagine our land transport system. One good example is the introduction of on-demand public buses. The LTA recently launched a trial of ODPB services, which allow commuters to request pickups and drop-offs at any bus stop within defined areas using a mobile application. The intention of such a trial is to evaluate the feasibility of operating public bus services with routes and schedules based on real-time commuter demand, instead of following current fixed routes and predetermined timetables. Last week, LTA announced that about 6,000 trips have been taken in the first 2 months of the trial, with about 20,000 app downloads. I recently visited Shenton Way Bus Terminal to learn how the trial at the Marina downtown area has been progressing, and to also talk to our bus workers operating the service. From what I observed, there are clear benefits to this system. By being more responsive to the real-time changes in commuter demand, we can reduce empty mileage quite significantly. Currently, the trial operates only during off-peak hours. I'd like to ask, can the Ministry extend the trial to peak hours to test if the benefits apply as well? I would also like to suggest for the system to incorporate the use of virtual bus stops. With technology, we can increase convenience for commuters by allowing them to select their pickup and drop-off points along certain designated zones, instead of confining to current traditional bus stops. The on-demand public bus concept would certainly be useful in areas where there is low financial viability to deploy fixed and scheduled buses due to a low population density, such as private landed estates, of which I have plenty in my constituency. I hope that the Ministry can consider extending the on-demand public bus trial to the Danyan and Bukit Timah estates, which are currently located within my constituency. There are many elderly residents living in these areas, and having such a service would be useful for those who may find that the nearest bus stop or MRT station quite a distance to walk. Finally, the on-demand public bus concept is not entirely flawless. Some of the bus captains I spoke to shared that they were not able to adapt well to the rigors of being always on demand. They preferred to work on fixed and scheduled routes. I therefore urge the Ministry to also consider driver stress, driver fatigue, and work with the union and the public transport operators to look after the needs of our bus drivers who are plying on such on-demand public buses. My second card. I sit on the Public Transport Master Plan Advisory Panel, and we have recently announced our recommendations on the Land Transport Master Plan 2040. Harnessing technology will be key to realizing some of the recommendations made by the panel. However, the flip side of harnessing that very same technology will have the potential disruptions to the livelihoods of many of our public transport workers. Here I declare my interest as the Executive Secretary of the National Transport Workers Union. And I would like to ask the Ministry to shed more light on the impact of the Land Transport Master Plan 2040 recommendations on public transport workers. Are there plans to ensure that our public transport workers are ready to embrace artificial intelligence and digitalization? The Union stands ready to work with the Ministry and all our transport operators to help our workers keep up with technology changes and ensure that they are well prepared to handle future challenges in this sector. But we need the government support for this. One key technology that Singapore has been exploring in recent years is the use of autonomous vehicles. There are several ongoing trials for autonomous vehicles, including autonomous buses, with the most recent being NTU's collaboration with Volvo to test self-driving electric buses in actual traffic conditions. At a recent focus group discussion where SMS Janil and SPS Bayam King were also present, our public transport workers and union leaders expressed strong concerns over the uncertainty of their jobs due to impending adoption of autonomous buses. In fact, I've also raised these concerns at every COS since 2017. We need to take action sooner rather than later to help our public transport workers transition into a driverless world. There are more than 10,000 bus captains, of whom many have been driving as a livelihood for decades. I therefore urge the ministry to set up a tripartite committee to work with the union and transport operators to oversee the impact of the development of autonomous vehicles on transport workers in Singapore.